All right. Hey, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing his word with truth and sincerity. Salakim and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and we got the beloved Elder Tazapai as well. And as always, the Wadi Halbashim Yahushai, first and foremost, for blessing us with another opportunity to bring forth, information, news, prophecy, another sacrifice, whatever it may be. But there's a lot going on in these times, and there's a lot to talk about. But before we get into it, Elder Tazapai, the floor is yours if you had anything.
Yeah, we can get straight to it, brother. There's a lot going on. You got a lot to cover, so yeah, let's go and get started.
Kind. So yeah, Lord willing, be edifying. And as me and other times, probably we're just kind of just talking, about the news. Even speaking on the news, how spiritual, the Thursday lives, how we was, looking it up, but going into our Thursdays, it says that's one of the best days, if not the best day, to bring out information, leading to the week, because throughout the week a lot happens, and before the weekend, things to look forward to going into the weekend. Because America, not just America, but these governments like to do things on Fridays as well. When a lot of people, just getting off work, not really focusing, doing whatever they got to do. But that's when a lot of things happening or getting passed. But that's also the times, Friday and Saturdays, when you have your concerts, your games, your distractions. So, going into, man, from here on out, every day is a day to look forward to something happening, especially here in America, with the times that we in. So we'll hop into it. Just a, honorable mention. Right now, I know you see Trump and Zelensky. They had a little argue in the White House the other day. So that's one thing that happened. I don't know if you wanted to speak on that, Elder Tazapow.
Yeah. Because well, me and Elder Ariala had we spoke on that situation, and we were both under the impression that Trump and Vance had pretty much set up Zelensky. But watching the whole thing, it seems like, Zelensky was the one kind of ambushed them because Trump and them went off. The reason Trump went off is because they were supposed to negotiate a peace deal. And he speaks about it in the rant. But Zelensky, got in front of the cameras and started speaking about, we need to stop Putin. And that wasn't what the meeting was about. So that's when the tongue lashing began. Mm-hmm. And see, it's a trip because, when the leaders don't just meet, you know what I'm saying? And they show you that in movies like 300, Xerxes sent his ambassadors. You usually send your ambassadors first. And they did that. You had Zelensky had his people meet with Mark Rubio and some other people in Trump's cabinet. And so the reason Trump and Zelensky they came together because the terms had been set. All right, we're going to talk about this peace deal and the minerals. That's what the meeting was supposed to be about. The rare earth minerals and trying to work out a peace deal. And when Zelensky started doing that, that's when J.D. Vance, kind of went off. And I don't think they was looking, but even Scott Ritter did say that Trump has set up Zelensky for that. But I don't think that was the case. But it's interesting, right? Because Trump made a statement after after things kind of cooled down. He got Zelensky to shut up. And so he was explaining things. A lot of the things Trump said make sense. Not saying that he's going to do any of it, but a lot of things that Trump said made sense from a logical standpoint. And so what he said was, I allowed this to go on so that the American people could see what's really going on. And that what he was saying is, this is why we can't have peace. And so he was saying, yeah, I allowed that to go on so that people can see, look, I'm here. He told Zelensky, he said, you don't have any cards to play. All right. And we're your only cards. They said, you don't want the deal, then we're out. And you could fight it out on your own. They say, or you could take this peace deal, which that's logical, but the people over him, the same people that were over Biden, all right, these elite, these shadow figures, all right, who we call the elite, they want this war popping. And so, yeah, Zelensky got to do what he's doing. But Trump, going up against that, yeah, that's alienating and pissing more other countries off, because that feeds into the NATO thing. That you were speaking on. You probably gonna go into it, but that's got NATO pissed off, because they want to keep feeding that grinding machine over in Ukraine that they're calling a war, but it's really a depop program. But anyway, that's Trump. This is theater of war, and that's why I'm bringing this up. All right. So follow what I'm saying. Trump did. They made that, and it was some good. That was some good TV. Even Trump said it's gonna make some good TV. I agree. That was some good TV, man. Trump funny as hell. But what they were setting up is that shit. You gonna see endless fighting in Ukraine till they go in the Middle East. So that's why he said, I want the people to see this, and allegedly, which I'm sure he did, they had future meetings scheduled, because they supposed to be working out this deal. So he canceled all the meetings. So that means Trump is off the hook, because he went on camera and said that. I'm glad that people saw this, because his campaign promise was to end the war. He said, if I was president, I'd end the Ukraine war like that. And so now that gets him off the hook. So now you're going to see that war continue. And, it's going to escalate into this third war. But right, this is how the theater is playing out. Meanwhile, we got internal issues going into finances, economy, and these tariffs. All right. So you got it from there.
Kind of got a quick one. This is Proverbs chapter 21, and I started at verse 1. It says, the king's heart, which a modern day king is a president, right? A prime minister, whatever they want to call it, a man who rule a nation. It says the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So look, when these kings, these presidents make decisions, when they pushing for a certain agenda, ready to go to war, speaking things of war, like Trump, he told Zelensky, he told him, you are pushing close to World War III. Right.
Yeah, you sure right. He told him, he said, you gambling. He said, you ain't got no cards. He said, you gambling with millions of lives, and you're gambling with World War III. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he told him.
Straight up. And the thing is, they ain't Trump feeling like, no, the Lord feeling like that. He making Trump say that. Like it says, I think it's in Proverbs. If a brother know what that said, it says something like, a man could think what he want in his mind, but the answer thereof is from the Lord. The Lord made Trump say that. Why? Because the Lord want war right now. It's the time of war. I'm gonna get this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, a time It says, "In a time to every purpose under the heaven." Right? I'm gonna get straight to the point. It says, verse 8, "A time to love and a time to hate." And it's clear we're not in a time of love. Just look at everybody today, everybody on edge. And it's the point. It says, "A time of war and a time of peace." But we're in a time of war, man. And that's why the Lord turning the minds of the kings towards war. And again, war just don't start with, I know the elder Ariala out there in Dallas, he often say this, war just don't start with, bombs dropping or, physical war happening. No, war start with, like as we seeing right now, tariffs and, proxy war, so on and so forth. Little skirmishes here and skirmishes there. Arguments on cameras like this, and arguments on cameras and shaking hands and hugging on another picture. You see? So this is
stressful conditions, carrying out for extended periods of time due to sanctions and all of this. This causes economic stress as well as emotional, physical stress, till people just have enough. But yeah, this war has been brewing. It's been in the making, all right, and it's hot as hell, And right now the whole world is a powder keg ready to ignite. But yeah, brother, you go ahead.
And that's a good segue to the next article. Kind of still standing an honorable mention real quick, but just on Yahoo.com it says wildfires. This was put out yesterday. Wildfires continue to burn in North and South Carolina, prompting evacuations and a state of emergency. And it says the biggest fire in South Carolina has burned thousands of acres, is believed to be human caused, of forestry said, right? Now we will get on to it, but first and foremost, a prayers to, I'm sure you how about Shim, how shot protecting, the elders, the Akim that's in South Carolina and North Carolina, who any believers who may be in the area, but again, man,
Right. Last I heard, that was good.
Con, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
but it's been spreading,
Yeah, I know I seen something. I seen one little thing, quick little vid going into the 15-minute city. Cause that's like a beachfront property, just like Malibu in California. They just had the fires over there.
Right.
No,
Okay.
that's right on the beach right there. So it's gonna be a lot of just so-called, as they would say, a natural disaster, or we don't know who did it. It was human cause. We don't know where yet though. You see a lot of different things happening in prime real estate in Esau
Right.
market. This gonna be the
Yep.
places just like you had in Tampa. This gonna be the places that he want to begin those 15-minute cities. Man, I ain't got that video up, Elder Taza Pot, that you sent me. I'm gonna have to send it to myself doing one of these other videos about the Toyota Center. I mean, not the Toyota Center. That Toyota 15-minute city that they got out there in China, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of how
That's the
Esau.
wave of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's all the craze.
You had anything else on that?
Oh, you good, brother?
So we'll move on. We'll move on. Just again hitting on the war, tariffs. You see in NATO, all these things one go lead to a fall of this current society, also leading to World War III, or should I say the fall of this current society, the breaking down of it, and they will try to bring in a digital system, but also one of the main events, the MOTB and World War III, all these little fightings and fusses, and we don't like y'all, we won't like y'all either. Well, tariffs on y'all and tariffs on y'all too. Hey, how should I say wars and rumors of wars? But we'll play this first video, saying when the Lord got the spirit and these kings of the earth, to go to war to talk their stuff. So this is from World Star. It says China says it's ready for any type of war with the U.S. and promises to fight to the end. I'll play this. Here's a quick little bit.
Here's as the speech wrapped up last night. This was posted by the Chinese embassy. Quote: "If war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. As Secretary of Defense, how do you take that?
Well, we're prepared. Those who long for peace must prepare for war. That's why we're rebuilding our military. That's why we're reestablishing deterrence and the warrior ethos, is because we live in a dangerous world with powerful ascendant countries with very different ideologies. You mentioned defense spending. They're rapidly increasing their defense spending, modern technology. They want to supplant the United States. If we want to deter war with the Chinese or others, we have to be strong. And that president understands peace comes through strength. He also has a great relationship with that gentleman right there, too, Xi Jinping. So where we can partner, where we can cooperate to recognize that we don't want war with China, we don't seek that war, we will. And the president has sought historic peace and historic opportunities. But my job as the Secretary of Defense is to make sure we're ready. We need the defense spending, the capabilities, the weapons, and the posture in the Indo-Pacific, which is something we're very much focusing on.
China as...
You want to say anything on that, Elder Tazapal?
Oh, just this precept, like you were saying, man, on the division. You know, everybody's against everybody in some shape, form, fashion, or another. All right. But that's another sign that would signify our Lord's return. He told us that would happen. You know, it says here, Luke 12, verse 51, suppose ye that I am come to give you peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth, there shall be 5 in one house, divided 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You know, and so this is the times that we're in. We see this right now. People are divided along the lines of politics, along the lines of gender, along all of these many various, you know, different ideologies and shit that they use to divide the people, you know, in finance and economics. You got those that say, oh, communism is good. You got those that say, oh, no, capitalism is good. And it goes on and on. You know, religion. People have been divided, you know, over religion for centuries, millennia. And so, right, we are in this time, but that was it. You got it.
I had one, the one I was mentioning, and it's kind of back up what you were saying, even from the Zelensky meeting. What they went up in there to talk about a peace treaty or something, huh? And
possible ceasefire. Trump was he was going for a ceasefire. You know, but yeah, that and the minerals.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they started, and they video made it on World Star.
Oh, they asked him. One of the reporters asked him something to the effect, are you aligned with Putin or are you aligned with Russia? And he said that pretty much he said, I have to be in line with both of them. If I'm a broker this peace deal, you know. And so, yeah, he's absolutely right. The only reason he can come in as a mediator is that, you know, like we speak about Yahweh Shai, is that he knows both sides. You know, Yahweh Shai is able to be our mediator because he's walked in the flesh, but at the same time, he sits at the right hand of the Heavenly Father. So that's from most outside of Yahweh, that's most divine, you know, that you can get to all the way to the flesh. He done ran the gambit. Mm-hmm. All right. From the highest outside of Yahweh, you know, to damn near the lowest, you know, coming in this flesh. I say damn near, you know, but right. So now he's able to advocate for us as sinners down here in this earth, believing in him. He advocates for us. So that's what Trump was saying, you know. Yeah, I got to be in line with both of them if I'm a broker this deal. you know, as a mediator. So, like I say, Trump was he was talking right. He said a lot of right shit, but right, nothing he would have said is gonna work. It's just theater. You got to just enjoy the show and know what's going on. You know, at the same time, no, don't get caught up in it, but know what's coming. But yeah, brother, go ahead.
Kind of real quick, Proverbs 16:1. It says the preparations of the heart in man, right? So a man may perceive things, what's gonna happen, what he gonna say, it says, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So a lot of these things, these politicians about to start saying and speaking and putting out there, there's either gonna have an ally or enemy turn on them or hate them even more. That's gonna be the Lord stirring up the pot. The Lord like drama, so that's gonna be him making a lot of these things happen. And speaking of, as the elder Taza Pa spoke about separations, drama, things happening, all like Daniel the second chapter, the feet and the toes not sticking together, going into NATO. Now it's not official just yet. It's not official just yet that America left NATO, because it can't just like happen overnight. Because Elon said it on a tweet. We want to leave NATO, and the next day they could leave NATO. It have to go through, I believe, Congress. Certain get passed through certain levels in order to actually get out of NATO. Through contracts, so on and so forth. But the thing is, that's the spirit that they are in. Now, as these next two articles going to say, and we'll play a quick video, but as these next two articles going to say is that although America might not just or might can't just say we leave in NATO and it's done, they ain't in NATO no more, kind of how Britain did with the EU, but a way they can do it is take back from their support, from NATO, from helping these nations. And that's what this kind of go into, which again, remember, it says that the beast was going to be separated in the end. And now it's beautiful in these times, like I said in Habakkuk, knowing the prophecies, but now being here and seeing exactly how the Lord doing it though. Because we always wonder, like, what America gonna do for the beast to start hating the whore? Like, what's gonna happen? We seeing little things like this, pulling out your support just because you want to. Because you mad and you want to take care of yourself. That ain't what we agreed on. That's how the EU feeling about America. That's how NATO feeling. Come on, man.
Yep.
You got something?
Yep. No, go ahead.
So I read this from the apnews.com, and this was put out February 13, 2025. It says NATO is in disarray after the U.S. announces that its security priorities lie elsewhere. Now check this out. It says in just one speech by the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth this week, the most powerful member of NATO, which is America, has thrown the world's biggest military alliance into disarray, raising troubling questions about America's commitment to European security. And again, part of the beast is those over there in Europe, or NATO and the EU. It says Hegseth told almost 50 of Ukraine's Western backers, which NATO or those in Europe, because they back Ukraine. They with Ukraine winning. Talking about NATO and the EU, they with Ukraine going to war with Russia and winning, because they feel in their mind, if not, then Russia go come for us next. Or that's how they pushing it. You see? So it says
that strategy is to keep Russia occupied in Ukraine, to keep them from, or at least to weaken them for when Israel go at Iran, because they know Russia is going to respond. So the major strategy in Ukraine, like I say, it is depop, but at the same time, they need Russia occupied, their military. So yeah.
And I read just this quick list real quick, a few of them. It says NATO members: Albania, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, uh, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Montenegro, Netherlands, North Macedonia, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, the UK, and the US. You know, and that's NATO. And a lot of NATO members are in the EU, but not all of them. You know, but so these are the members who make up the beast system, as we would know as according to Bible prophecy. Now they start to branch apart, come apart. You know, so I'll read a little bit more. So this is what America told Pete Hegseth, being a representative of America, told NATO. He said at their meeting, he said to directly and ambiguously express, and ambiguous mean only one decision, I believe, in a manner that is not open to more than one interpretation. It says to directly and ambiguously express that stark strategic realities prevent the United States of America from being primarily focused on the security of Europe. In other words, he told them, we ain't worried about y'all right now. It says,
Right.
this is what he said. The United States faces consequence, and this more going into prophecy. I think it's in Habakkuk 2, how the Lord said, against the wicked, the proud in the end, how the nations go turn against them, and you was going to be on your own by yourself because you worried about yourself. It says the United States faces consequential threats to our homeland. We must and we are focusing on security of our own borders. That's what he said, right? Let me see if that says something. All right, it says, reading the Riot Act to U.S. allies, Hegseth said that Ukraine will not get all its territory back from Russia and will not be allowed to join NATO, which will provide the ultimate security, a guarantee to ensure Putin never attacks again. I jump down. It says he insisted NATO will not be involved in any future force that might be required to police the peace in Ukraine. Check this out. It says this is important right here. European and other nations will, but the Europeans will have to pay for it. No American troops would take part in such an operation, he warned. Let's read this one more time, because NATO got this thing called Article 5, right? Article 5, they put their hands in. Article 5, 1, 3, 1, 2, one of those things, they all agree, right? If a nation attack one of us, then he attack all of us, and we gonna come after him. And that's kind of how the beast helped America rule the world, man. Because if you came against one, you came against all, we all attacked you, so on and so forth. But now America's saying, look, if y'all try to go over there and help Ukraine and Russia attack y'all, we ain't got nothing to do with that. So NATO ain't really feeling too well about how America moving. Neither are, the EU countries. You was about to say something else, Passalaki.
No.
Matter of fact, let me pull this up real quick. Article 5. So this is Article 5. I'll just read a quick little, see if I can find it quick. So what it says, Article 5, and this from the NATO website, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. A cornerstone of the alliance. And it, 1949. All right. It says every participating country agreed that this form of solidarity was at the heart of the treaty, effectively making Article 5 on collective defense a key component of the alliance. So we all have to stick together. It says Article 5 provides that if a NATO ally is the victim of an armed attack, each and every member of the alliance will consider this act of violence as an armed attack against all members and will take the actions it deems necessary to assist the ally attacked. So America's saying we ain't doing it no more. He's like, he said we ain't doing it no more. Man, that's funny. You guys are I'm gonna throw this in the chat for y'all.
Yeah, no, I ain't got nothing right now.
Okay. So let's read it a little bit. I put it in the chat. So I mean that's the point in that one. That's the point in that one. I'll go on. We'll play this video here in a few. So now the thing is though, so seeing how America is acting towards NATO, now it's coming out saying how it may be a false flag from NATO towards America that's going to drag America into war. Now we know according to prophecy, the scripture says that not from Ukraine, Israel, according to Jeremiah, the least of the flock, you know, those small hats would drag America into war. But when I read this also prophecy, and matter of fact, I'll get it real quick if you don't mind, other times of pop, but this also prophecy because it said in Obadiah that America's allies will go behind their back and set them up. So that's the point of this. They ain't just talking. No, they may do things to set America up, and that's the point we at. And you can't say whatever they wrong for that. Well, how? When America saying right here, we just read, we ain't worried about y'all no more, man. So they feeling some type of way right now. And look, tariffs go impact them as well. Things gonna start happening in Europe because of America. See, a lot of people about to start suffering because of America. I'm gonna get this real quick. This Obadiah chapter 1. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. This Obadiah chapter 1. And I'm gonna start at, and it says, Edom's judgment announced, which is the so-called white man starting with America. It says, I'm gonna get straight to the point. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, matter of fact, I'm gonna jump up. Verse 2, it says, I'm gonna jump down. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations. You will be greatly despised. And that's part of the reason why Hegseth in America saying we got to worry about our own homeland. A lot going on with Esau. You know, he been despised. As you say, you will be greatly despised. Nations ain't messing with him no more. He been exposed, so on and so forth. Now that's why it's that America first spirit as they trying to push. Well, that's, you know, what they would put in the minds of the people. But it says you have been deceived by your own pride because you live in a rock fortress and make your home high in the mountains. Who can ever reach us way up here? You ask boastfully. It says, but even if you soar as high as the eagles and build your nest among the stars, I will bring you crashing down, says the Lord. And that's the point I want to get to. I just want to get how that's going into Edom. Now, right here it says, verse 7, and this is what we're seeing. All your allies will turn against you. Obadiah 1 and 7 in the NLT. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends, right? Article 5 on 3. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. So the point is, what they doing behind the scenes, it ain't just gonna be on mainstream media. They go do it behind the scenes, setting them. Who knows if these European leaders talking to Putin, you know, Ukraine, you know, which again, at the end of the day, as the Elder Tazapah said, we can't leave this out. They're all on the same page anyway, you know. But you got some people within these governments who believe it, who really think they fighting, you know, all for it. But the thing is that you have a lot of these nations, they going, well, the Lord, matter of fact, I think Ka'abi put it, Revelation 17 and 17, for the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. So it's been in them right now to go along, but now the Lord taking that off them. Now nations want they get back towards America, man. But that's it on that. Matter of fact, we can move on. So I'll read a little bit of this article. This from nationalnews.com. This was put out 2 days ago, the 4th. It says, expect a NATO false flag attack to drag America into a global war. If Europe wants World War III against Russia, let them be the ones to pay for it and fight for it. It says, I'll just read it a little bit. I'll start right here. It says, Europe, on the other hand, has been preparing for war with Russia, not out of fear that Russia would attack them when finished with Ukraine, as they claim, but rather because war is money and European nations are facing failing economies. It says, we see, let me jump down. It says, now parts of Europe are saying they are prepared to put military on the ground in Ukraine to fight against Russia, which would escalate a war that would have been over years ago had nations like the US and other NATO members simply minded their own business. So it says, with withdrawing from NATO, it says one way to prevent Europe from basically forcing America's hand on getting directly involved in a world war they seem determined to drag the US into would be to withdraw from NATO. And it goes into how Elon Musk, he said, it's time to leave NATO and the UN. Or Gunther, or how Gunther Eagleman, he said it's time to leave NATO, and Elon Musk, he backed it. He agreed. Right? Now, it goes into how he can't just leave just because he wants to. It says Congress thought otherwise. It added a special, I ain't got to read, I'm going to just jump down. So he can't just do it. But this is going into reason how they can back out from NATO. It says Trump may not need to formally withdraw from NATO to damage it. For example, a war game run by British experts last year found that Trump could sabotage the alliance simply by having America do less. This could include minimizing U.S. participation in NATO exercises or restricting American officers serving as NATO commanders. The effects of a U.S. pullback would be global and hard to predict. Let's see. I'm going to read a little bit more and a little bit more up in here on some of these false flags that could take place. Right, so it says, and it also goes into, so like I'm just trying to read as I'm speaking. I don't know if you had anything else to talk about, but we could move on after this.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, kind. It goes into a supplier, prices going up, things that could be affected in America. And again, all these articles, they in the description box. So it says, not saying, it says, involved or not, the U.S. will feel the effects of any world war Europe continues to instigate. Not saying they will, but we wouldn't put it past NATO to indirectly involve the U.S. in the war via false flag, whether cyber attacks, and we know that's coming, blaming Russia, of course, or trade, or even attempting to isolate the U.S. as they've been trying to, do to Russia, so on and so forth. So that's something to look out for. What's going to happen within with this NATO thing? Because America supposed to be down with them. I put this quick video from this lady, former NATO official.
Now, this decision by President Trump was made without consulting NATO allies. And we've heard in the...
That's another thing. They're doing stuff without talking to other countries about it.
Now, this decision by President Trump was made without consulting NATO allies. And we've heard in the last couple of days someone very close to Donald Trump, Elon Musk, who says that the United States should leave NATO. I don't know what you think about that. What would that mean for NATO?
Well, I mean, it is not Elon Musk, first of all, who should come up with any kind of judgment on this, because he is clearly absolutely illiterate in these type of issues. But we've heard President Trump already making similar noises during his election campaign. So I maintained the view over the past half year or so that the allies would be well advised to really prepare, do contingency planning, because even if Mr. Trump will not officially abandon NATO, he has a wide range of opportunities to really do harm to NATO. And he has already harmed NATO massively. Primarily, obviously, by leaving the consensus on Russia. And if I think back of just 2 days or 3 days ago, when the US Defense Secretary ordered the US Cyber Command to stand off all operations, defensive and offensive cyber operations against Russia. This is something really, really bad. I mean, this is almost insane, I think, if you, and unless you side with Putin. So this harms the alliance.
Yep. And I'll play this other one, this last one, that we can get into the last article and the last video. So just to show this showing how the allies feel about America. And they coming together, they already doing a contingency plan, as they said, to prepare themselves. So ain't no telling what else they doing. This is how Canada feeling about the tariffs, so on and so forth.
I'm joined now by Doug Ford. He is the Premier of Ontario, Canada. Mr. Premier, we appreciate you making some time for us today. We know that President Trump delayed these tariffs a month ago, and now we're hearing today that this will happen for Canada.
Oh, and I don't know if we said this now. This was 3 days ago. But Trump, just to make that point, to keep everything, what it is. So I know the tariffs was supposed to go into effect, I think today, on China, Russia. I mean, not Russia, China, Mexico, and Canada, right? China, Mexico, and Canada, but they pushed it back today, like maybe an hour or a couple hours before the live show. They pushed it back again into April. So they're supposed to hit in April, around April 4th. So look forward to that. So they held them off. They held them off for right now, so just to clarify that.
Yeah, GMS, it should surely come. He's saying rise of the dictators. Well, yeah, and he's right, because we go into this NWO, which that's what all of this is, everything that the priest Karabad is showing, all right? That's what this is all going to. And this one world, this new one world order that they want, which ain't gonna come to fruition. But right, they're gonna install dictators. They're gonna unify the world under communism, through these through the MOTB. It'll be a cyber communism. But yeah, I was just looking at them comments, man. Yeah, it is a rise of the dictators. Because Trudeau, he leaving. And that what the guy was talking about on the video that you sent me. And they got this new guy coming in. And so they waiting to see, is he gonna be pro-tariff? Which he will be. It'll be more of the same. They just need fresh faces sometimes. But yeah, you got it out.
Come on. I'll go ahead and play this video.
I'm joined now by...
It says Canada will respond to Trump tariffs like they've never seen before. And again, Trump the right man, because as he coming now, as I say in Joel 3, if a brother want to put that in the chat, Baba Kashar, the nations, these nations no longer go be weak. The weak nations, they saying we strong too. So we about to see a lot of retaliation from these other nations, man. Which could be used to, or will be used to affect America, to bring those plagues on Americans.
By Doug Ford. He is the Premier of Ontario, Canada. Mr. Premier, we appreciate you making some time for us today. We know that President Trump delayed these tariffs a month ago, and now we're hearing today that this will happen for Canada. Do you have any indication that he might delay them again? Anything that's giving you any hope at this point?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on, Aaron. For the sake of the American people and the Canadian people, he needs to pull back. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen here. President Trump ran on a mandate to create more jobs, keep inflation and low and lower costs. It's going to work totally opposite. Plants will close down within a week. Assembly plants in Michigan, which is a red state. Manufacturing will stop. And the people of the U.S., which I absolutely love, the American people, they're going to be paying more. The market is going to go downhill faster than the American bobsled team. It's going to be an absolute disaster for both countries. We're your largest trading partner. I don't want to respond, but we will respond like they've never seen before. You need our uranium. You need our potash. You need our high-grade nickel. I will stockpile our high-grade nickel at 50% of your military and manufacturing needs. your aluminum, the steel, the lumber. It will be an absolute disaster. And this is all due to one person, that's President Trump. I have talked to endless governors, Republican governors and Democrats, senators and Congress people. I love the U.S. I lived there for 20 years. They're all saying this is the craziest thing that someone could ever do.
Well, sir,
it's going to create massive problems.
Well, let me ask you, you said a couple of things here I want to ask you about. First of all, you said that you will respond. Help me understand what you expect the Canadian Prime Minister might do and what you yourself might do as the leader of a province there in Canada.
Well, we'll respond strongly, and we don't want to. On the critical minerals, I will stop shipments going into the U.S. for nickel. It will shut down manufacturing because 50% of the nickel you use is coming out of Ontario. I've ordered our bureaucrats to cut off tens of billions of dollars of contracts that we have with the U.S. We are the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. We buy over 3,600 products from 35 states. I talked to the governor of Kentucky and Mitch McConnell, don't touch our bourbon. I'm going after absolutely everything. And I don't want to. We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes and manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S. And I'm telling you, we will do it. It's unfortunate. I would rather ship you more electricity, ship you more critical minerals. I want to ship you more energy, more potash to keep your farmers going, and uranium that you use for your nuclear power. It comes through from Saskatchewan over to Ontario, and it's going to be a massive, massive problem. I'm telling you, we love the Canadians love Americans. I love the U.S. Everyone does. And not one American friend. When I lived there for 20 years, I've talked to all of them. Hardcore Republicans are saying this is the biggest mistake President Trump has done, and we're dead against it. And I've yet to find one.
So that you got advertising file if you want to speak on it.
Oh, I got that precept whenever you're ready.
You got it.
Yeah, all right. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right. So this is what we're seeing in the world. War is being prepared. All right. Among the Gentiles. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. And the mighty men are waking up. All right. It said, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears, yeah, that's them preparing for war and shit. Now we see, at least here in the U.S., but even in Europe too, shit, literal farmers, ranches and all that are being shut down. So, the agriculture section, that's another part of this lockdown, to control the food. So here in America, they're not really putting money into agriculture, into farming. So in that sense, economically, they're beating their plowshares and their pruning hooks because money is always going into this military industrial complex, always. All right, that's what most of the U.S. money is funneled to. The U.S. military budget is more than all of the world combined. With them, what is it? 71 bases around the world. I forget the number, Salakia, but all of these military bases around the world, they have to be maintained. And this hegemony infrastructure that the U.S. had built through this petrodollar, all right? They got to maintain that. All that's military industrial complex. CIA, all right, ATF, all them guys, DEA. Who that raided Diddy? Oh, Homeland Security. All this is military industrial. Even, you know, when you talk about Raytheon and these companies, DARPA, definitely DARPA, but all this is military industrial complex. So in the rest of the world, they know. You look at China, you know, at one point they was putting out missiles. Every time you look around, they have a new missile that they developed. Same with Russia, you know. So yeah, the Gentiles are preparing for war. You know, they're literally beating their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears, modern day swords and spears, all right, which is missiles, tanks, and bombs. So, right, so the weak are rising up, challenging America because they feel empowered. They're saying, I'm strong too. I'm sick of your shit, you know? And so, right, it's gonna continue to escalate until it's third woe. I mean, I say that, but until this third woe goes hot. But we're in the third woe. Going back to that quote that you made with Elder Ariala. Yeah, they don't just war don't just start hot, you know. They start warm and they simmer and then they start bubbling. The next thing you know, it's a full rolling ball. Well, right. We really been in this third woe, you know, at least up until the Biden administration, you know. But go ahead, brother. That shit you seeing in Ukraine and now with Israel over there, Gaza and all of that, that's the prelims of the third woe. Go ahead, brother.
Yep. Yep. What's going on right now? Kind of bringing in the smaller characters, which will eventually bring in the big dogs. You know.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and also this gonna lead to that war, as it says, 2 Ezra 14. And I like to get the GNT. I ain't gonna get it right now. I'm gonna get Habakkuk 2 real quick. But it says that the war that will bring their destruction is very near. And man, it's cold because it says, and during that time, it says that's when there was going to be famines. People was going to start to suffer. You know, people was going to be tired of the situation and uproars of the people and lockdowns, right? Because things like this, tariffs, could lead to the next thing. And as this man said, man, if y'all keep trying us, we gonna turn off y'all lights. We gonna turn off all the energy, whatever y'all. We gonna stop it. We gonna turn it off. It could be a blackout just from this. Or remember, they said like a NATO may come with a false flag. It said maybe what is that? A cyber attack. Many things
Mm-hmm.
are on the table right now.
I know, bro. It's interesting. We are in interesting times, you know.
But I get this real
So,
quick because again, Salak, you got it.
no, I just say come.
Because this part of prophecy that America's allies and enemies starting to see them for who they are, and eventually everybody was going to want to get their get back, and that's what we saying. That this is the Habakkuk. Now this Habakkuk 2. Now when we read Habakkuk 1, the beginning of it, Habakkuk was kind of had a problem, with Israel because it was too much wickedness. So he asked the Lord to pretty much judge Israel, to take out the wickedness. So the Lord said, "All right, I got you. I'm gonna judge him by sending Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. I'm gonna kill him and all that, right?" So Habakkuk said, "Look, Lord, I ain't asked for all that. Why would you take a greater evil and some heathens and send them against us?" And so he said, "How is this going to end? Why are you gonna do that?" So in 2, Habakkuk was looking for a response and not a Lord going into the response on how let's go in. And that's what we're in right now. The vision is speaking. The wicked is being exposed right now. And this is what's going to take place during his end. And this is what we're seeing. The people who he been oppressing, not just the Israelites and people in America, but these nations, right? Getting money from them, so on and so forth. They about to react to all this too, man. Is Habakkuk chapter 2 real quick in verse 4. And I'm going to jump to the NLT in a couple of verses, but it's the KJV. It says, "Behold his soul, which is lifted up." Man, hold on. I got to start up. I'm going to just start at 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." See, we seeing it happen. We playing videos. Brothers going into articles, elders going into articles. Apostles going to videos, articles. We have proof now of what the scriptures say. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So he told Habakkuk, look, it's going to happen in the end. I'm going to take him down in the end. Now, back then he was talking about the actual Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar, but it's spiritual because the wicked, Esau, is connected to Babylon the Great. And it's going into the wicked. It says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Now check this out. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. And if this not the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, then who else is it? This is the only man that have done that. Went into other people's lands, took their resources, enslaved them, and put a military base. Or made the other people leader look bad so they can go in and put a plant in there. And then eventually take all the money from the people, and now you call them a shithole country, man. Excuse my language.
Yeah, turn that place into a shithole. The border of wickedness. This is why they're called in the scriptures the border of wickedness. But wherever they set their sights on, just like it says here, Micah chapter 2, I'm gonna get right to the point. Verse 2, it says, and they covet fields, all right, like the fields of Afghanistan, all right, like the oil fields, like all of, as the brother's saying, all of these lands that have these resources, minerals, are just rich in agriculture. They come in, the Banana Republic started from Chiquita, because Esau set up a banana cartel. I forget what country it was down in South. It may have been Central America. But this is how they operate. It's just indicative of how they operate. It's indicative of how they operate. They go on people's land and they just take what they want. That's what the scripture is saying right here, Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. And people are about to see that. Well, people are seeing that. And I'm talking about not abroad now, but here in America. People who lost their homes in North Carolina were told that they can't go back. Same thing with the people in Lahaina, and now in LA, or those the Palisades, Santa Monica, all of that. What was it? Parts of Beverly Hills, all of that up in there. Them people ain't going back. And some of Zelensky's generals had mansions that got burnt up in that fire. Did you hear about that? Yeah, some of Zelensky's generals, see, they've been over here flossing. Zelensky and his top generals. They've been living good, man, off of our tax dollars. We over here struggling. Paying all this inflated shit, these inflated prices. But right, going back to the scriptures, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. And everybody about to lose it. Everybody going to 15-minute cities. Get all this shit, all that shit. Oh, I own my house and I'm a proud homeowner and I got equity in my house. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna see how far that equity gets you in a 15-minute city, because that's where your ass is going. Klaus Schwab told you what it was. But majority of y'all ain't never heard of a Klaus Schwab, let alone any of his quotes. But if you hear this video today, I'll let you know what he said, and that is, you will own nothing and be happy. All right? That means that home that you're renting with your tenant's title or mortgage, with your mortgage and not a title deed, you got a mortgage, a death pledge. But this is what's coming, man. People out here playing games, these Hebrew Israelites out here playing games. The whole world is changing around us, and these niggas still on that tit for tat, GMS this, GMS that. Yeah, we got to touch on the Sakari situation because everything is spiritual. It always has been, but even more so now. The spirit is super heavy in the world right now, in the earth. Okay? And either you tuned in or you tuned out. And if you tuned out, that's a bad sign because that means you're up for judgment. So for those who tune in to us, what we try to do is keep you tuned in to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah through his prophecies. All right. This is the testimony of the Lord that we're giving, pursuing the Revelation 19 and 10, that the spirit of the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. All right. So we bring you the prophecies showing you and relating them to the events, the current events that's taking place in the world today, so you could give Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah the glory and said, yeah, this is it. This is it. And that is if the Lord put the Holy Spirit on you to see, give you the eyes to see and the ears to hear. All right. And that's what we always say at Great Millstone. We are here for the elect. All right. This is not for entertainment. You see? And brothers can, add an entertaining element. Some brothers like to crack jokes and keep it lively. But at the end of the day, this is a serious message. And you got to grasp the gravity of what's going on right now. And that is, I told brothers in class last night, I'm going to say it here for who's ever watching this. For those who wish to resist the MOTB, we will be asked out here soon. Like I'm reading, they take away houses. That's where we at. Yeah, it used to be Iraq. It used to be Afghanistan. It used to be down in wherever, South America, wherever, Central America. It used to be that. It's our turn. All right. This is the big stage. Babylon is the big stage for the Lord's for him redeeming his people, for the deliverance. Deliverance will take place worldwide, but Babylon is that main stage. And that Valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be the main stage for the big showdown. So the stage is being set, the actors are in play, and hey, just watch the show. Stay tuned in, give the Most High his praise, and keep your faith in Yahweh Shah. So it says, finishing in Micah, and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. And so that was it, just going into what you said. Now, like I mentioned, this devil is the border of wickedness. So let me read that right quick, and then you got it, brother.
Okay.
All right. Right. This is this is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. It says, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So see, they go out and covet fields, and then whatever field they covet, land, state property, whatever they covet, and then they take it over, it becomes the border of wickedness. You're going to find democracy there, and you're going to see some Catholicism, which is just a front for Satanism. Catholicism is a front for Satanism. All right, it's sun worship disguised. But then you're going to find the corporations, McDonald's, whatever, Burger King, KFC, whatever. You're going to see all of that. Then come the drugs and the crimes, and they'll set the people at variance against each other, and it'll become a shithole. That's how this shit works. The whole landmass of North America was a paradise. Now I'm like, Job, I wish I never was born. And I'm being a little funny, but yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world. But I'm like Paul too, shit. It would be nice to be in the spirit world, but it's needful that I be here to preach this gospel. And that's my attitude. But the Lord saying, whereas Edom said we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, and this is what they're building right now, a city for themselves, a world empire. With their cities all over the world. All the cities look like America. These ugly ass skyscrapers. But anyway, it says, we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. These are the so-called white people that y'all love so dearly. The Lord had indignation for them, against them forever. And we're not supposed to be aligned with these people. These people are wicked. These people are the devil. They brought you LGBT, all that trans, they brought you, and now they brought to bring you an MOTB. And read Revelation 13 and 16 through 18, and you'll know what I'm talking about. That's the MOTB, which is a microchip that they want to install in humanity, in all mankind. And this is who we're dealing with. This is a madman, a maniac. And he coming with the full, from Revelation 12 and 12, he coming with his full wrath. So he know his time is limited. But go ahead,
That's it. And I'm gonna just finish out this Habakkuk, and we can go straight into that digital system that's being set up as well. But real quick, I'll finish this. And as you said, how America took everything from everybody. Now it's time the nations got mad. And they want to retaliate, just like the man from Canada said. Look, we can cut off everything, man. So you might want to watch what you're doing. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. I'm going to read this in the NLT. This right after it says that the wicked took all the nations down. It says, but soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You've become rich by extortion. But how much longer can this go on? Verse 7 in the NLT. And suddenly your debtors will take action. So the ones who've been giving America all this money, right, who've been tied into America through contracts, whatever it may be, you see losing. Eventually they go take action, and that's what we see in Canada. Drake, just like it. Drake, yeah, he talking now. He said we gonna cut off everything. You know, well, whatever they able to. You see, but the point is, it says suddenly your adapters will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have. And look, he was going into a number of things that they get it through Canada. Nickel, right? We shut it. Let me see.
Our bureaucrats to cut off tens of billions of dollars of contracts that we have with the U.S. We are the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. We buy over 3,600 products from 35 states. I talked to the governor, President Trump.
We go into the many things. The point is, these people gonna start backing out from America, like I said in a NATO article right here. And we can move on. But in this NATO article, it says, or even in attempting, talking about NATO, to isolate the U.S. as they have been trying to do to Russia for decades. So, yeah, people gonna start separating themselves and their goods, and we'll see how that affect America. You know, but which at the end of the day, they're all on the same page ultimately, because they need to find ways to bring down this current system globally to bring in a digital system. You know, I read maybe a paragraph or two in this article, and we can play that video at the top of the pine. That's pretty much it.
All right.
So real quick, going into the digital system. Now, again, all this is a part of the digital system beginning. Even like World War III, they just gonna be one day, and that's what a lot of these camps waiting on. The day it be mandated, like you got tents, you know, the white tent, you got to walk in line. That's what they waiting on. No, if we seeing how the steps that's gonna lead to that, and all is gonna lead to this system falling. And if it fall, then what? A digital one go come. And it's all roads lead to the MOTB. So this from naturalnews.com put out 3 days ago on the 3rd, March 3rd, 2025. It says the digital control grid is taking shape under the Trump administration, which, you know, Brothers in Great Millstone been talking about that for months now. Is 2025 or March is for months now. That's the reason Trump, Elon, Doge, these tech giants, all of them on the same team now. It says in just 5 weeks since taking control of the U.S. executive branch, the Trump administration has accelerated aspects of a global digital control grid, a system designed to monitor, manipulate, and exploit populations through advanced surveillance, financial control, and behavioral engineering. The high-speed rollout, which is coming quick, cloaked in chaos and confusion, is a puzzle piece in the globalist plan to centralize power, dismantle constitutional freedoms, and usher in a new era of totalitarian governance. From digital IDs and biometric tracking to mRNA juices, it says Project Stargate and social credit systems. The pieces of this dystopian puzzle are falling into place at an alarming rate. All that stuff that is just put together, that's many lessons, brothers. And not just talking about us on the Thursday Live, you know, the LD Asharama got his news and prophecy, brothers go, apostles going to the news. This is many lessons just put into what's going on right here. It just kind of put the only thing is missing is the MOTB, the RFID micro chip. But this is exactly what's being set up, man. It says the power that the government obtains under the Trump administration, while seemingly necessary to fix certain issues, will inevitably be used for nefarious purposes by future administrations and criminal conspiracies, which we ain't gonna be here that long. But it says the stakes cannot be higher as the world watches. The foundations of individual sovereignty and freedom are being systematically dismantled, replaced by a digital prison that promises to control every aspect of human life. Digital IDs and biometrics, the foundation of control. I'll read these last 2 paragraphs so we can play the vid. It says the push for digital IDs, particularly through the Real ID program, is a cornerstone of the emerging control grid. These IDs, combined with biometric data, such as fingerprints and facial recognition, create a system of total surveillance. The Trump administration is aggressively supporting this initiative with immigration policies further enabling the integration of biometric tracking. This is not merely about identification, so it ain't just an ID. It is about control. Digital IDs linked to biometric data allows governments and corporations to monitor every movement, transaction. Revelation 3, no man could buy or sell, save he that had the mark. It says transaction and interaction, social credit scores. It says this is the first step towards, a social credit system. And where this video gonna kind of touch on it a little bit, going into that. This is the first step toward a social credit system where your ability to participate in society is determined by your compliance with the system. Whoever wrote this prophesied. they had to watch the apostles or something, man. Lance D. That sounds like a Jake. Lance D. Johnson. You know, you heard the breakdown of Revelation 13. That's exactly what's happening. You got some other times apart before we play the vid?
No, you good.
Come. So this is ones that can see, put out 2 days ago at the water to the brother Alawap as well. The brother sent this to me. It says, warning, the staged tariff war will be used to bring the carbon tax to America. And I'll speed it up. We ain't gonna play the whole thing. We're just gonna skip through it. Let's see, speed.
Exports. So what could it
sent on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs.
And also breaking tonight, Canada striking back with tariffs on U.S. goods. Roughly an hour from now, President Trump's 25% tax will begin on imports from Mexico and Canada. And late tonight, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that's the same time Canada will begin 25% taxes on U.S. exports. So what could it mean for you? Dick Brennan is breaking it all down.
You don't know what they're going to charge.
Angelo Pappas of Chelsea Forest says he doesn't know how much higher prices may go due to tariffs, but he knows who's going to pay for it.
Whatever they charge us, they have to pay to the customers. What else do you do? Otherwise, we'll close the store.
And it's not just flowers. Tariffs could hit across the economy.
You could actually see the cost to heat your home go up pretty quickly. You could see the cost that you're paying for gas at the pump go up pretty quickly, because those price increases, that actually doesn't take that long to flow through. So I'm talking the next few weeks.
President Trump is imposing 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada and an additional 10% on China, saying they haven't done enough to stop drugs coming across the border.
The tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
One study found the price of a large SUV with parts from Mexico could jump $9,000. Another estimates the new tariffs could cost the average U.S. family more than $1,200 a year. But Trump says tariffs will push people to buy American, and he says there's a simple solution for countries that want to avoid tariffs.
What they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs.
To make his point today, Trump hosted the CEO of Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, who pledged to invest $100 billion in new plants in the U.S. And he said Honda has ditched its plan to open a new plant in Mexico, opting in. Brennan, CBS News, New York.
The tariffs announcement rattled the stock market. The Dow dropped 649.
Looks like. And of course, it's all about ones that can see. Welcome, everybody, to today's show. This is exactly what sabotage looks like. And of course, it's all in the name of protecting America, right? It's all in the name of stopping the fentanyl crisis. This is how they convince conservatives that what they're doing right now with starting this tariff war is all to help save the children from drugs on the street that are illegally crossing the border. And if you're dumb enough to believe that, well, then you're dumb enough to believe anything, because everybody in the world should know and use common sense logic and understand that all drugs are trafficked through the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and our own government agencies that tell you that they're flying into space or they're protecting this and doing that. They are the ones who control the cartels and the drug trade. If the government actually wanted to stop the drug trade, it'd be very easy to stop the drug trade. Look at DARPA, look at your military and the capabilities that they have. Of course, they would never do that because they're the ones responsible for it. But they're going to pretend, of course, that Donald Trump is a Christian. He's here for the people. And this punishment that they're about to ensue, which could really is going to begin some type of Great Depression. I mean, we're going to see economic hardships. But of course, we all have to think about it, just like when they told all the Democrats out there to go and get a shot that wouldn't make them immune. They went and got shots that didn't make them immune. And then they were shaming people who didn't do it, who didn't think it was the right thing to do. They'll do the same thing here. How could you be against the terrorists? It's all about helping the children, right? And they've got all their conservative pundits going on Fox News controlled media to talk about how a little bit of hardship is going to be fine because it's going to help save lives. And if we could save one life at the border or wherever because of these tariffs and prevent fentanyl from coming in, then it's worth it, right? It's worth it on us. It's worth the hardships on us. You're going to see the economy.
So what he kind of going into, I'm going to try to skip it, but what he going into is how pretty much America, Trump is using excuses of the border, you know, how, other nations ain't holding a end of the bargain, whatever. He using excuses to put tariffs on people. But what he's saying is this is going to lead to other things. Now, if it, not specifically going to lead to a carbon tax, but it's going to push forth to, again, the fall of an economy, though. Hard times for people, man.
Goes down. I mean, it's utterly legal. Tariff Act made the Great Depression worse and worse. It fed into the Great Depression. So why are they doing this? Why are they tariffing one another?
So here it is. I think that's it. So what's the point?
They know that most people don't even know what that means, but most consumers, of course, will feel it in their wallet, whether it's 1 cent at a time with every purchase that is potentially made. Farmers are going to feel it, which, of course, is exactly what they want. And ultimately what they want, again, is the North American Union. And this is how you bring it in. You start tariff wars with one another. You start weakening the American people, the Canadian people. You start weakening them the only way that they really know how to, in their wallets, making people want it to stop. This isn't about hurting another country. This is about hurting civilians. This is about wicked, corrupt people who are pretending that they were elected, who are sabotaging our lives. And this will eventually bring in the North American Union and what we a lot of money. And ultimately what it will do is enslave us. That's the purpose in Canada and America. Ultimately what it will do is enslave us. That's the purpose of the carbon tax. So people out there who are conservative are going to hear this. They're going to say there's no way that a carbon tax is going to be implemented. Well, it starts like this. Tariff wars between Canada and America. Canada already has a carbon tax. They're going to start putting carbon taxes on imports and exports. They're going to start making Americans aware of what a carbon tax is. And that's how it starts. Because most Americans, when I bring up the carbon tax to them, they have never heard.
I'm going to read this real quick and I'm going to skip. And we can end it. It says carbon tax. It's more in this video. It's more in the videos in the chat, but it says carbon tax. This is in the chat as well. It says c2es.org. What is a carbon tax basics? It says under a carbon tax, the government sets a price that emitters, right, those who use, businesses or even the people. It says that the government sets a price that emitters must pay for each ton of greenhouse gas emissions they emit. Businesses and consumers, right? Businesses and consumers or people will take steps, gradualism, such as switching fuels or adopting new technologies to reduce their emissions to avoid paying a tax. So in other words, times coming with, it could be through the tariffs, through whatever, to not just particularly a carbon tax, but that social credit score. That social credit score coming, but it says to do what? You have to go green in your life, choose the things of the NWO. But the point I want to get, it says adopting to new technologies. That's the main thing that's about to change, and the people will have to adapt to. And so I'm gonna skip on to this video. You got some advertiser power?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm skip to that part about the even Elon Musk, he was with a carbon tax. Let's see, I play right here.
Women, and they're keeping people uneducated, right? And it's making sense. He's talking about, right? And all these people who would be opposed to all these things are running to the alt-right media, the controlled media. And they're getting their ears ticked. Oh, yeah, I like this tomorrow, where he's going to bring stuff like that up. It
was around the middle, wasn't it?
Corny.
When he was saying that Musk is calling for a carbon tax. I thought it was, but I don't remember.
I think this right here. I think that's what you're talking about.
They'll probably sit there and they'll probably say Trump would never do that. That'll never be. If it gets forced on the American people via Canada, via this tariff war, suddenly people start understanding what this carbon tax is. And they'll probably sit there and they'll probably say Trump would never do that. That'll never be in America. But if anybody's been paying attention, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, who used to be Democrats, who are now Republican, well, Elon Musk is one of the major advocates for a carbon tax. Here's Elon Musk tweeting a while back. The only action needed to solve climate change is a carbon tax. Elon Musk is 100% a believer in climate change, which again is government weather modification and weather control. And he's 100% on board with universal basic income, which he said numerous times because AI is going to replace human jobs. And he's 100% on board with a carbon tax. So if Elon Musk came on national television with Donald Trump today and said, hey, we want to implement a carbon tax on Americans, all of a sudden you probably would see the majority of Americans turn on Elon Musk and Donald Trump until they took back what they said. So this is another way to bring about the carbon tax to America by blaming it on Canada and saying Canada's responsible for doing this. Canada's responsible for educating you on what it actually is. It's not us. We're not doing it, right? We're not the ones responsible for ruining your lives. It's the other country that's doing it. But in reality, it's them working together. This is how they want all of us.
Like, I'm just thinking about, he said Canada, the things that this man named is gas and energy stuff dealing with carbon emissions.
And that's the big change, you know. I mean, that's our existence. It's carbon. From the beginning of time, you know, we're carbon beings. The CHO chain, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is what we made of. Carbon. And then there's really an attack on us, you know. But what I'm saying is, man, our lives they have immersed us into this goddamn fossil fuel way of life, forced it on us. And now they getting ready to outlaw all of the shit that they forced on everybody, meaning the gas and diesel vehicles, motors, whatnot. You know, they everywhere. You know, these little gas motors. This car use them, leaf blowers, lawnmowers, all of that. You know, all of that. Life as we know it is about to change when they go fully cyber. So you didn't get no car no more and just drive where you want to drive. You know, you ain't be doing a lot of shit. You ain't gonna have no yard to cut. So it's a car out of work. Whatever grass need to be cut, they got robots to cut the grass. You know, lawnmower dog, whatever, they gonna have something to cut the grass. And if they do need somebody, they'll give them carbon credits to do it. You know, if they need somebody to do something. But yeah, so what is life gonna look like? You know, that's one of them things that you know, this is what keeps us pushing. This is what keeps us on edge. It's nowhere you can read when the Lord said there's no time like where we at, like what's really, I'm about to say what's coming, but really where we are. Yeah, this is some new shit. I mean, we ain't never been here. It ain't never been a ruler as evil as rulers have been throughout history. There ain't never been a ruler say, all right, that's it, no more carbon. Y'all ain't getting no more carbon. And nobody ever said that. So this people don't understand how shit getting ready to change, bro. From MOTBs to you being scanned and tracked every minute of every second of every minute of every hour, you know, face scanning. They don't just, oh, you walk in the store, you know, everything and everywhere you go, everything you do, you're monitored. That's what you was just reading. You ain't be able to pick a booger them up and they don't know. You know? This ain't no existence for a Hebrew Israelite. But yeah. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that the Lord is coming back soon, because truly there would be no flesh left to be saved.
I got that for you.
But go ahead.
It's like I didn't mean to cut you off. You got it.
That was it. Go ahead.
I'll just read it. You got it. It's Mark chapter 13 and verse 19. It says, for in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he have chosen, he have shortened the days.
And that Kyle Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he gonna shorten this man days. Job will speak about that in the 20th chapter. And when he think he is about to fill his belly, the Most High is gonna cast the wrath of his fury on this goddamn devil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he got a lot to pay for. It's gonna be just desserts when the Most High give this man his comeuppance. Go ahead,
Con, you want me to keep going in that mark? That was it. That was pretty
Oh,
much.
that was it. Yeah.
Con, you could take us out. You could take us out. That was it.
Oh, that was it right there. Okay, Con, bro.
I
Well,
mean, he had a
yeah,
little doing a video, but I mean, that's the point pretty much made. So, Lord willing.
yeah, and that was. I will say this. You know, old boy, I don't know his name. You know his name?
This dude right here on the
Yeah,
video.
on the YouTuber. Yeah,
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his name is.
but what is it? All who can see, all
Ones that can see.
ones that can see. Right. He's very perceptive. So it could very well go down like that. That's some hell of an insight, you know, that he gave. I suggest you brothers go and watch that video in its entirety. I was watching it. You know, I just received it right before the live, and I watched it before the live. I got to go back and watch it again. He just makes some very good points, you know, and some points that we could very well see happen. And it's kind of he presents the information that kind of covers the spread of what's going on in the world today, at least with America and where America is. All right, and yeah, that's it for now. We'll see y'all next week, Lord willing. We pray that you all was edified in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and hey, stay up and keep pushing. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back, but before he does, all hell is gonna break loose in this world. The entire world. We're gonna need the shadow of the Almighty to protect us in these times that's coming. All right. So what we got to do is stay vigilant, stay diligent, keep our eyes and ears open, put the scopeo on Esau and all Babylon, as the scriptures say, and watch as well as pray. We in the thick of it. We're in the thick of it. They're not letting us know everything that's going on. There's some big shit going on. But it's about to come to the light. So everybody stay in the spirit as much as possible. Definitely stay in the faith 24/7. You know, and shit. Hey, pray for the apostles. Pray for all the brothers. All right, and with that, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the men that raised them up in the spirit. And peace and blessings to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. All right, so to the next one, much love. Y'all stay up. Shalom.
Shalom. The water for tuning in. Shalom.